195 countries in this whole world, India being one of them. It feels incomplete, na? Talking about India without mentioning its diversity and a rich heritage of culture. This documentary is about a piece of garment which is like a salt in Indian costume. It's significantly insignificant. It's called Uttariya. Well, today we call it Dupatta, Chunri, Odni, and in some parts of India it's called Chador. Europeans call it scarf or shawl. It's amazing to know how a dupatta never went out of fashion. It has been part of fashion even before we knew fashion. It has an amazing history, which we'll know from Anoli Ruia, an academician in the field of fashion designing.
Our Indians culture always had draped garments. Even if you see dated back in the Egyptian culture, where there was no machinery, so everything was draped. So we had a draped garment. If you could talk about just Indian culture, we had draped garments, which is Antariya and Uttariya. Antariya is the lower garment, Uttariya is the upper garment. And you have the kaya band, which is the sash which you tie around your or a kamar band which you tie around your waist. So Uttariya is basically it had many different uh, w- uh, it was for comfortability for the each and every community had it in a took it in a different way. So it was just a piece of cloth, can be just a rectangular piece of cloth, and it was there for comfort. People used it for elegance. There was royalty in it. It had a functional use. It was used as an adornment also. So there was India is famous for its cotton fibers. It was made about mostly out of cotton, but the royalty used it for they used silk, and even back in the so Uttariya has it's this thing comes from, if you see dated back, it's there in the sculptures of Indus Valley civilization also. So there is a sculpture of a priest king where he is there is this sculpting thing on his shoulder. So one it's like a dupatta, it's like a sash which goes around his one shoulder and it hangs back. So there's a sculpture there, so it dates back to Indus Valley civilization. So it comes from there, and we always had draped garments, so a piece of cloth which was draped around the body. And as far as I know, different communities used it for different reasons. Like people, the royals and the elites and the kings and the it was both for men and the women. So the kings and the queens wore it as just embroidered piece which was thrown around their shoulders. And it was also worn like as I have worn, right? In the modern take it is a dupatta, but it was also worn like a garland thing on both the shoulders. It was thrown down. And for the peasants or for the people, who are working, or for the laborers basically. So it was for them, it was just a piece of cloth where they can just tie around their head and use it as a protection from the sun and the heat. And they also used it for funny thing, to just wipe around their face. So you have in south also you have this gamcha. So everything comes down from that uttariya, which was the upper garment. So it is also seen in the in if you see our gods, the Indian gods, the deities also have this very interesting, even in Lord Krishna has, if you see the paintings of him, if you see the sculptures of him. So he always have a sash, which he wears on the upper body. So it was both for the men and the women. So it's basically a piece of cloth worn around with uh, different ways, and it's just like a scarf which is worn around the neck and the shoulders.
इतने पुराने गारमेंट की हिस्ट्री तो हमने जान ली. Now it's time to know the journey of this classic in the fashion world. From Yashvi Yadav, who has been in this business for about 10 years now. She has her own manufacturing unit. She goes by the label Design Maker. And she started this as a journey, but now she's a successful fashion designer. Let's know it from her.
અત્યારે દુપટ્ટાની ડિમાન્ડ છે આઈ મીન ક્લાયન્ટ્સ તમારાથી દુપટ્ટા આપણા ડિઝાઇન્સમાં એડ કરવા માટે કે બિકોઝ દેર આર મેની ન્યૂ ડિઝાઇન્સ જે અત્યારે આવ્યા છે જે ફ્યુઝન જેમાં કે લોકો પ્રિફર નથી કરતા કે સંભાળવું પડે છે દુપટ્ટા એવી વસ્તુ છે ને કે એનાથી છે ને ફેબ્રિક આઈ મીન જે પણ કોસ્ચ્યુમ જે છે આઉટફિટ છે આપણે ઇન્ડિયન આઉટફિટ્સનો તો આખો લુક જ છે હા સંભાળવું પડે એ થોડી તકલીફ થાય પણ વી આર અ સ્માર્ટ ડિઝાઇનર તો અમે અટેચ કરી દેતા હોઈએ છીએ પણ દુપટ્ટાથી જે લુક આવે એના જેવો તો ડ્રેસનો લુક જ નથી આવતો સિમ્પલ અને એનાથી શું એક ડિસન્સી પણ મેન્ટેન થતી હોય છે તો યસ ઓફકોર્સ અત્યારે દુપટ્ટા છે જ ડિમાન્ડમાં અને રહી વાત બીજા દુપટ્ટા નહીં તો સ્ટોલ કે જે થોડા નાના થઈ ગયા છે જે જીન્સ ઉપર પહેરીને પણ એકદમ ફેશનેબલ લાગી શકાય અને ઠંડી લાગે તો ઓઢી લેવાનું યસ ઓફકોર્સ આ એનો યુઝ છે અને આ બંને છોકરાઓ પણ યુઝ કરે છે અને બોયઝ પણ યુઝ કરે છે અને ગર્લ્સ પણ યુઝ કરે છે એટલે આનું ફેશન કદી નથી જવાનું દુપટ્ટા ફેશનમાંથી કદી નથી જવાના ક્યારે પણ નથી જવાના ગમે તેટલા વેસ્ટર્ન કપડાં આવી જાય કારણ કે સ્ટોલ જે છે ને એ તો વેસ્ટર્ન ઉપર જ આપણે રાખીએ છીએ એકચ્યુઅલી હા અને અત્યારે તો કોરોના આવી ગયો તો માથે ઓઢીને બાંધીને પણ દુપટ્ટા ઇન રહેશે જ
તમે થોડા તમારા કલેક્શન બતાવી શકશો અમને લાઈક તમારા દુપટ્ટાના જે અલગ અલગ ટાઈપના હોય છે પહેલાંથી તમારું છે
યા શ્યોર
લેટ્સ ગો. She is a Whistling Woods graduate in the field of fashion designing. She worked with Dipti Balagiri as an assistant designer. She assisted Shloka Kilyani in her 2018 to 19 lookbook. She also worked with Payal Singhal, one of the leading label in Indian wear. And she is here to give us the present viewpoint of dupatta, if it's still prevalent or not. She is Mansi Joshi, an art enthusiast and a budding fashion designer. What kind of
Yeah.
a role does a dupatta play in Indian wear?
Well, I'm a great sucker for Indian wear and I love wearing ethnic wear. And most of our clientele was, they demanded ethnic wear itself. And though they are wearing like a crop top and a palazzo, but to give that look, a dupatta would complete their look. It was like a cherry on the cake, like how we have seen Pooh in Kabhi Kushi Kabhi Gum, and she was just wearing a like pastel pink blouse and palazzo, and the dupatta like completed her whole look. So from that time also, like people are wearing dupatta, and like they can carry it anywhere, like as a scarf also, as a stole also, or like it's it just completes the whole look altogether. So most of our clients used to like ask for dupatta, and we used to just style them up with the dupatta. Anything like whatever they used to like, we have to do it either way. But dupatta adds on to the garment, like it adds on. It glorifies the garment way too much, and obviously anyone can look good with a dupatta. I think depends on the handwork. If we are going towards the handwork, then the cost and the work, workmanship increases. See, in Punjab, the Fulkari dupatta is very like it's very famous. And if we go towards Banaras, then the chicken kari dupatta is very famous. Then we go to Lucknow, then Chanderi is really famous. So everything depends on what kind of work you want. See, for example, if you're wearing a very heavy kurta, which is already like hand embroidered, and zarika work is there. So I feel you should like team it up with a net ka dupatta with little bit of handwork is done. If you're wearing a plain cotton kurti, then you can like wear some ajrak dupatta, hand block dupatta itself, and you can color coordinate. And if you're wearing a plain white kurti, then you can add a fulkari dupatta or a chicken kari dupatta with that. So it depends on the what you're wearing with that dupatta. But my personal favorite is chiffon dupatta because it goes with everything and anything, and the fabric itself is so light and flowy. You just feel like a princess when you're wearing a chiffon dupatta. I feel that way.
According to you, what is the connotation of dupatta in present scenario?
See, previously, if we throw some light on the past, so it used to be a symbol of respect in order to, cover your head. In order, if you are giving respect to someone, if you're bowing down, you are wearing a dupatta. Even if you go to a gurudwara, you are covering your head. So right now, I feel there's no such connotation related to dupatta. It's just your personal style. Like nowadays, guys are wearing dupattas, and they are draping it like a turban, like old times, and like a scarf since it's winters nowadays. And we have seen a lot of bloggers and a lot of fashion enthusiasts draping a dupatta in a crop top or in a draped way and pairing it up with a sari. I'm sure a lot of people have seen Komal Pandey videos. So I think she's a great inspiration altogether. If you see how she styles a dupatta or a piece of cloth over her bustier, and I think it's a great thing. And I don't think so. There's a connotation related to dupatta that in order to give you respect or show you respect, you have to wear a dupatta or something like that. I think it's more over how you speak about your personal style and how you're using a dupatta altogether. I think that's more of today's thing. It's going on like that.
Hey, wait, this documentary just doesn't end over here. We also have some of the styling tips from a fashion student of UID. Her name is Sakshi Raj, and these are some of the new ways of styling Uttariya or dupatta.
अछोगड़ा में पोयो जमारो माया जाल में खोयो रे अछोगड़ा में पोयो जमारो माया जाल में खोयो रे ऊपर वाले जोयो जमारो माया जाल में खोयो अड़िया